So what's the question?
So when did you decide you wanted to be a part of something bigger than yourself?
Like when I was a first year in college, like I wasn't really doing anything special. I was kind of just doing the college thing, and you know what college kids do, it's what you expect to do. But I didn't realize it was Flagstaff, so you couldn't do that college thing in Flagstaff. So like first and second year, I didn't really do much. But honestly, I could give a lot of credit to one of like acquaintance in high school, and like I'll tell this story like probably to the day I die, but I don't think a lot of people know it. But my friend she wasn't from my friend in high school. Her name's Christian Gonzalez, and she kept recruiting me for her organization. And I was just like telling her, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not about that life. And it was specifically a sorority, and like I don't think I look like a sorority girl at all. But then again, once again, it's the movies, and it's what you think it's gonna be. Once again, darn movies, they need to put like realistic things out there. But I mean, they had to pull it from somewhere, right? It wasn't until like I finally went to an info night and like learned about the organization, I just found myself to have like a lot of questions. When they were like, does anyone have any questions? And I just kept going and going, and I kept going. The next thing I know, it was spring 2010, and you know, I went for the organization and I went through the process, and you know, that whole thing happened. And so that being a part of something bigger than myself definitely contributed to that mentality, and then the fact that it was a service sorority, like being a part of Flagstaff and like giving back to our community in that sense. But I think when it comes to this question in particular, wanting to go for my dreams, it took a long time for me to realize what like I wanted to do in life. Like I said, I never knew what was going to be past college. I didn't know what was going to happen, and you know, because no one in kindergarten told us this is what happens after college, you know. And so I've been going to college since my sophomore year in high school through this program called the ACE Plus program. And this is when you're able to get college credit while in high school. I did that, so technically I've been going to college for like 8 years. And it took me a really long time. I don't know, I didn't really see college as the thing where it's like you go to college, you make more money. I just kind of knew it was always going to happen, but I definitely knew it was a place to like discover what I wanted to do in life, or at least wanted to do for at least a short amount of time. Ultimately, I went through many major changes, not official major changes. I initially went into political science because I wanted to be the governor of Arizona. And then I went into business because I wanted to own my own business. That could have been anything. I went into event planning because I really like events. I went into electronic media and film, did a little bit of radio. Business, event planning, political science, interior design was my very first major. I didn't realize it was interior decorating is what I really wanted to do, but that was just my sophomore year in high school. I went into communication studies somewhere down the line, and then I finally settled on secondary education, and I wanted to be an English teacher. I don't know, I have this fire like burning in my heart for the youth, and so I wanted to go into secondary ed. I did, and I stuck with that for 4 years. And it wasn't until I had the opportunity to actually be an instructor for an intro class to NAU. And so I had the experience of grading papers and taking attendance and doing disciplinary action and all that stuff that I would do back at my home school at Maryville. I wanted to go back to Maryville and be a teacher. Once that happened, I was just like, I'm not about that life. But I really realized I love to like really public speak and be in front of a crowd and be in front of people, which is super interesting because I used to be super shy back when I was like really younger. Like I couldn't even order McDonald's without like my mom doing it for me. You know, I went through another major change in degree course, and I went back to communication studies. I should have probably double majored from public relations and communication studies with a minor in electronic media and film. So if I could go back and do it again, I would do that, definitely, for sure. No, not about that schooling life, more about that education life. Something just bit me in the butt one day, and it's still something that I'm still trying to ask all of my friends that were a part of my life at that time in 2010. Because once I joined my organization, and once I joined my sorority, like everything changed for me. I just had a different outlook on life. The dream of becoming like a talk show host and wanting to pursue that, it just kind of just hit me one day, and this one day I was just like, want to be a talk show host. You know what I mean? I want to be in the entertainment industry. I knew that influence was important to me, and affirmation was important to me, and public speaking was important to me. I knew the youth was important to me. I knew everything that was important to me, and most importantly, I knew all of those majors meant something. The interior design, the event planning, the secondary ed, especially the business, all that stuff was important to me because I don't know. I knew that I was still interested in it, and to me, I just realized, why not? Why can't I do it all? You know what I mean? Like, what would be holding me back regardless? I just said, well, let's get a general degree. You know what? I'm figuring it out right now, right here in front of all of you. What I did is I looked at Ellen and Oprah. I looked at what degree they got, and I saw that Oprah got a degree in communication studies, or communications, or whatever the case. I think my school didn't have communications, or something like that, so I went to communication studies, which is still just as important, learning how to communicate and whatnot. The question is, what made me realize that I wanted to become a part of something bigger than myself? And the answer is when I joined my organization, when I taught that intro class, when I realized that all of my majors were still important to me and still of interest to me, and that I wanted to do it all. I said, why not? Why not do it all? That's when I finally decided to shoot for the stars, shoot for something bigger than myself, and nothing wrong with being a teacher because I completely respect teachers, but I couldn't do it, or choose not to do it. And so going for this dream and going for this aspiration and things like that, it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely made my life more interesting. Because if I look back on like my Facebook posts and if I were to see talking about being a teacher, if it weren't for college, I wouldn't have gained the confidence to go in the direction that I want to go in, whichever direction that is. To say that I want to go into a very well-known industry, I don't know, it's scary. It's scary for a lot of people, but I'm not scared. If anything, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous about what the industry can do to someone and can do to me, but I think that's why I really value my time right now, working full time and working 40 hours a week and having my weekends and my days and times where, you know, I'm just normal, because I know one day my life isn't going to be like this. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be super fun and super interesting, and maybe one day I won't be into it again. Maybe I want to get out of the entertainment industry. Maybe I'll just go straight into motivational speaking, which is something I'm also really passionate about. But I don't know. As of right now, that's my dream, and I definitely think it's something that's bigger than myself, but at the end of the day, it's going to be super fun, super entertaining, super exciting along the way. Any more questions?
No, I can't click the button. My hand's frozen.
This one?
Pause.
Oh, it's this one?
Pause one.
Oh, yeah.